All right, the month of March, and we want to look at the pound movements. The pound pairs are really looking good, and we could have trading opportunities coming in the coming week from Mondays, and then we'll look at it. But to start it with, I want to start with GBP card, and then I can go on to the other pound pairs. So looking at GBP card from the monthly time frame, you can clearly see price is at highs. Okay. And this is an area of resistance or our supply area for a long period of time. As you can see here, the first time price came into this, it came down, and then the second time it formed this. So this is a strong resistance, the supply area. So once we have that, and price pushes back into this area, we will want to look for further entries. Okay, and then now with that knowledge, you can begin to focus and zoom in a little bit here. You will see there is a monthly high around here. So once you have that monthly high, just to make it the work simpler, I can focus on it. And I, of course, at the back of my mind, I know that this is an overall resistance. So price has actually reached that monthly high. We want to see whether we can have a trading opportunity. Coming on to this next lower time frame, which will be the weekly. So on the weekly, you can clearly see here that this is a resistance area or a high that price has approached this week. And then finally, when I come to maybe a daily, you will see clearly, and then to the 4 hourly time frame where we wait. So the reason why now we want to trade it, you see, there is a price at a resistance or at a high. And remember, in trading, you want to be able to sell high and then buy low, keeping it simple as that. So now, what do we need to do from here? So we already know price is at a resistance, and then price is here forming another mini resistance within the bigger resistance you can see here. Or if I'm to come to 1 hour, you would actually be able to see it clearly. You can see the formation of a mini resistance within a resistance, a very good confirmation. You have two resistances, the bigger one and then a smaller one within. That means the next thing you want to see is a change of trend. And the change of trend can only happen when the market actually breaks these lows, when you have these lows here. Okay. So the moment market can be able to create a price difference, because all we have now, we have an accumulation. Price is trying to accumulate within this resistance. But now what the next thing we need to do is, will price create a difference? And the difference that we would prefer, it will be a difference where the price actually goes up. This is the possible difference. And then this is the difference we desire to trade down here. So now, meaning all we have to do throughout the week is to be patient. And if we get the difference created to the downside, then we can begin to look for trading opportunities with such a pattern formation. And of course, once the trade is ready, I will be able to send it into the group. Going on to another pound pair, let me go to GBP USD, which is people's favorite pair. People like to trade GBP USD. So again, looking at GBP USD from the monthly time frame, you can see clearly here that the month we've been heading bearish for a long period of time, and this is the first pullback of a bullish candle. But now we don't have a lot of information on the monthly. All we can say is that the last month was bullish. For us to understand that, we have to always come to lower time frames. And then on the weekly time frame, you can see why this week closed bearish, and because of this supply area here. And of course, with that in mind, you just need to know within this supply area here, what has happened. Price has been resisted here. Okay. So to just make your work simple, you simplify it. This is the resistance that has been formed on the weekly. And now we need to understand this further so we can always go to another lower time frame. Okay. So on the daily, you can clearly see here that price has actually been resisted from going further up here. And then we have a price difference candle here. So the whole of this area here. So it looks like the market is changing in trend, but for us to understand it more, this is what it will look like. So you can see clearly an area of resistance and then a price difference. So that means now for us to trade this, we will need to see either more break to the downside here or a pullback into this area. And then if we see a pattern, that's when we can trade it. We also have on GBP USD. Let me just maybe take one more pair for the pound pair. There is no time to analyze all of this. Let me just pick one. GBP AUD, one of my most favorite pairs. I like this pair a lot. Yeah. So again, we always trade pairs, not in isolation. You want to trade them collectively so that you can have a better picture. So again, we are at monthly highs here. So this is our monthly highs, an area of resistance. And remember, we like to sell high. So once we have that, we can come to a lower time frame, which is the weekly. So on the weekly, you can see clearly here, this is an area of resistance. And then we want to see whether there will be a double resistance here and then a change of trend. So once we have those, that's when we can actually focus on trading. We can see here clear resistance. Remember, we just don't jump into resistances and trade them. We wait for price differences to be formed, we wait for trend to change and all of that. So now, how can we be able to trade these successfully? So what we want to do is to see how far price can actually accumulate here and then distribute. And the best distribution we would want is if price begins to break lows like this. If we can actually break lows like this, the whole of this, let me just mark it. If we can break the lows and then the trend changes, because right now we want to see this and then a change in trend and then to the downside, that is when we can actually trade that. Otherwise, what market could do, it could break and then continue upward, and that is a scenario we will not desire. So this is what we have on the pound pairs. I don't have time to analyze the rest of them, but with GBP CAD GU and GBP AUD, we can actually begin to wait for trading opportunities. And then once the trades are ready, we can be able to send them into the group, and then we will be able to trade them. Okay, so just watch out, and then our signals are always everywhere. You find our setup in form of a narrative on X, or you will see them on Telegram and YouTube. But this is how we want to start the month of